guys, what's up? How's everybody doing tonight? Hope you guys are having a good one. Sorry about that earlier. I actually hit the wrong button. Yeah. I was kind of getting everything set up and hit the wrong button, went live for like 10 seconds. So, well, like 30 seconds, I think. Something like that. Anyway, but yeah. Hey, Joe, what's up? Keith, my man, how you feeling, buddy? Hope you're doing good after your surgery. I know exactly what you're feeling like, bud. Oh, G513, what's up? Number one up in here. Thanks for modding for me. Nicole, good to see you. Dale, good to see you. Brenda, hey. Thanks for modding for me. Night. What's up? G513 again, third in line. Josh. Up with trees. XD. Hey, what's up? Dennis, Tammy, Dootsy, Karen, Julie, Major, May, Sharon, Steve, Randy, Kathy, Robert, Brenda again, Keith. Hey, say hi to Queen for me. Hope you guys are doing okay. I hope your back and everything's feeling okay for you, bud. Actually, you should have had one of these a long time ago, buddy. But there you go. Yeah, you should have had one of those. I don't know why you didn't. Hey, BK, what's up, man? Arizona, what's up? Body and Soul, good to see you. Taylor, what's up? What is up? What is up? I'd like to say hi to everybody, but I can't. Hey, Jill, what's up? What's up? Hey, thanks a lot for your message and stuff. I really appreciate all that, okay? Thank you. I really do, Jill. Thank you. So we will get moving here, guys. Yeah, there's some stuff going on. We got some pretty significant stuff actually happening right now. Hey, Axe, what's up? My friend from north of the border. That's right. All up in that Canadian Canuck. Hey, Ashley, how you doing, girl? Hope everybody is doing well. Wayne, Great Epiphany. Hey, that's a cool name. That is a very cool name. Steve Brady, what's up? Bean, hey, Bean's in here. Hey, Karen. Wolfie, hoo, that's right, brother. That's right. Julie, only Jared. Okay, guys, I got to get going here. Sorry. People get on me all the time for saying hi to everybody, but I just appreciate it. So, anyway, guys, yeah, so we got Schumann stuff going on, guys. So obviously, look at it. I mean, that's a significant one. It definitely is. We can look at the other Schumann tool, too. I'll take you guys over there real quick here in just a second after we talk about this for a second. But, you know, I know the big spikes is what everybody's drawn to. But, you know, I look at this thing all the time. And, yes, this is definitely significant. We need to look at this because, you know, it definitely is something that can be causing people's headaches, ringing in your ears, all of that stuff, right? But when we start seeing stuff on a consistent basis that doesn't go away, that didn't used to be here, that means something's changed. And we've talked about the overall uptick in frequency anyway, the higher frequencies being more prevalent. Well, we got the 20 hertz thing here now, and that thing is just not moving. It is staying there solid. It's not going nowhere. As a matter of fact, it's starting to look very similar to the 7.83 that we see up here that's always been there. It does not ever go away anymore, and it's actually starting to fluctuate in certain areas at certain times, starting to very much resemble what we see with the 783. It's almost like we've got another frequency there now that is just as consistent as the 783. So what does that mean? Well, it can mean a whole lot of different things. The issue is trying to find out the source. And the difference is we're probably not going to find a source. Because this is just not, I don't think that this is a local thing. This is a global issue. When you start seeing significant things change like that and staying like that, it's typically a global thing. So that's just what I would have to say. Ron over at Emergency Management, like I say, give a shout out to him, guys. You guys need to go over and check him out if you haven't checked out Ron. Terry's over there too. He is often on with Ron, quite often on his shows. Terry Runnels. Now, listen. If you guys want to know good stuff about earthquakes, go over there, guys. Seriously, I'm not even kidding. They read the seismos to you, the helioplots. They know what they're looking at as far as the magma movement and stuff underneath and all that kind of stuff. And they can decipher whether or not what's being reported is actually the actual strength of what we're seeing. And they do it in a very scientific way. So it's not something that is just like, hey, I think they just did it wrong. You know, just make a blanket statement that they're just reporting things wrong and don't give you any reasons why they think that. Well, these guys are saying that, but they're giving you reasons. They're showing you the math. So that's the difference, guys. Okay? People that can show you the math behind what's going on there, that's who you need to listen to. Because they're not just saying it for no reason. They're not just saying, oh, because it's a alphabet agency, like, you know, all the USGS, NASA, all the, you know, the alphabet agencies. Just because they're not just out there saying that that's the reason they're giving you bad information. They're telling you why they think that. They're giving you why. They're looking at the data. So that's what you're going to get at emergency management. And anybody, one of my mods, please throw that link down in there for them if you would. A lot of you guys have probably already been over there and watched her on. Yeah, thank you, Axe. I appreciate that, bud. Guys, go give them some love. They deserve it. They deserve all the traffic they can get. And you know that his channel's building. He's getting bigger. So, hey, Angelo, what's up? Holding it down in the Bronx for me, baby. That's right. But anyway, so again, guys, that's a huge spike. It's significant. It's long lasting. But again, you know, ringing in your ears and stuff, definitely, if you're having that, I mean, look at that. I mean, I'm sensitive to this thing anyway. I get ringing in my ears quite often, and almost every time I come over here, I'm getting ringing in my ears. This thing is doing something. But, you know, is what it is. But I would suggest everybody look at this. Now, I didn't pull it up. Let's just do that real quick. I'll pull up the other Schumann tool that I have. This is the other site. And this is, you know, this actually goes in and it'll show you the graphs, how the amplitude of it and everything else. And it'll go into more detail. I'm not going to go through all that tonight, but I wanted to show you guys this. So if you guys want to check this out, you can. Obviously. Let's just put it here in the live chat. That way you guys can copy and paste that link and you guys can go look at this for yourself every day. And that's what I hope that you guys would do. You know, don't trust me, just go look at it. I'm just showing you my observations and what I'm looking at. What I like about this is they're giving you two different tools at two different locations. Look, this is the Kumyana. And this is the Tomsk site. So you can tell how the two tools are seeing things different. This is what I mean about things that are regional. Okay, we have to understand that is definitely what we need to be paying attention to. You know, we can't just look at it and say, oh gosh, you know, it's happening at this one site, that it's happening global. That's not true. Okay, we have to look at this and understand that when we do see something global, that's when usually we can point back to the sun and all that kind of thing that's happening. But when it doesn't, then it's happening in a regional area. But this is telling you, even at the Tomsk thing here, it's giving you, see how much, see the red line? That's their average. Okay, during these months, look how far off it's been. This thing has been really, really, you know, active over here. Same with this. Even though that these aren't reacting at the exact same time, but you still see an overall, you know, increase on what they've been seeing as an average. Because here's the average line. So we're still seeing an uptick all over. So that is a global thing, is what I'm trying to say. Okay? So if you guys really want to see, you know, a couple different tools there, they're both there. You can go here and look. I show you guys this one just because it's easier for everybody to look at and understand, because it's very simple, direct, straight to the point. But I do want to point out that there is definitely more than just one of these tools out there, okay? And I try to tell you guys that with the regional aspect of it. And it goes here, it tells you what hertz level it got up to. See, it got up to 41. That's a 41 hertz. And if we go back to this here, this stops at 40. So we were actually higher than what this thing showed. So this is the limitations of showing you guys this one. Because sometimes this thing will go way off the graph here, and I can't show you how high it gets unless I go here. So just know that. So that's how high it got, 41. And you can look at the amplitude here. You know, it's still going on. It looks as though the event is still happening, whatever's going on here. It does look like it's tapering off some. The intensity of it definitely has decreased, but we'll just have to wait and see. And then we'll come back and look at it again. So, okay, let me update this. This is a Space Weather Prediction Center. This is NOAA's site, and obviously we'll go through the typical stuff we look at real quick. And so what we're looking at, you got X-ray flux here. This is what we look at when we get solar flares. And there was a flare right here. It wasn't big. It didn't even get into C class, but it did come off the baseline. Came off of it pretty decent, actually. You know, we had a dropout here too again. And I need to do some research on this, why this does this. If this actually could be like a spike, because some of them will read both directions. I'm not sure how this actually works. I'll have to see the specifics of this. I'm not exactly 100% sure on that, so I don't want to say that the X-ray just dropped completely out, because when you see the word flux, that means it's a fluctuation from normal. So if it goes either direction, that's what this thing is showing you. But if it's fluxing down, I guess that, you know, from a baseline, it would be a dropout in the overall X-ray. But some tools are set up different. But for right now, you know, we got this back here. This would be a definite dropout. We've seen that a couple weeks ago too, if you guys remember. But then we get a little flare here. Now this is radiation storms. That's what we look at for the solar proton flux. Nothing going on there. Geomagnetically, we dropped out, went to the basement again. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, it just means that if this continues, we'll have to pay attention to cosmic ray alerts. When we don't have geomagnetic activity, we definitely will have an increase in cosmic rays. We need some of that energy there hanging around in our atmosphere to block those cosmic rays. First look at the sun. The first thing I look at here, guys, that draws my attention is this coronal hole. Now, you remember me saying we always keep a southern and a northern coronal hole. Those are always there. And if you remember, like last week, I was even saying that we're going to start seeing them stretch up towards the equatorial region and staying connected. And that's exactly what we're starting to see. And, you know, right here is basically where the Earth is right now. So here in about 3 days, we're going to start seeing the effects of this coronal hole. We're definitely connected to this thing right now. Whether or not we get a big increase, we'll have to wait and see. But that is, you know, that's a significant thing there. Now, we've had to see this sunspot right here that kind of just popped up out of nowhere. We've had like 2 CMEs off that thing already. And I'm going to show them to you guys here in a minute. I'm not really sure if they're actually coming directly at us, but they are coming in our general direction. I will say that. Whether or not they're pinpointed enough to hit us, they don't look to be like huge or massive, but they definitely were CMEs. So we'll take a look at that here in just a second. But the ACE data, you got density. It's hanging around 1, 2, and 3. Nothing out of the ordinary. The solar wind speed has definitely dropped back off to normal range. Remember, 3 to 500 is normal for solar wind speed. And 4 is what we consider normal for density. Anything above that, you know, that's when we start seeing hits on our magnetosphere. The BZ is kind of hanging around 0. Not much movement there. The phi angle looks like it might have, you know, changed polarity. Right here. 0 went down and back up. That kind of thing. That's usually what happens when it changes polarity. When it does do that, we'll get a little jerk on our magnetosphere usually. And sometimes it affects us, sometimes it doesn't. Here is this is NOAA's model. Green line, that is conditions at Earth. This is density up here. Okay. That is the solar wind density. Solar wind is plasma, guys. It's charged particles. Okay, it's charged gas is what it is, which is plasma. Those are all those are all the same kinds of names. So, just saying. So if we're looking at this, you know, you got, this gets up to, you see how you get an uptick going up over 10 right here. What does that mean? Well, that means that this model has seen something happen on the sun, because we're right here in time, and this predicts 5 days out in front of us. It forecasts, I should say. It's not really a prediction, it's a forecast because they're using a model. You know, a prediction is what, I guess, or a prophecy or prediction, they're kind of the same thing. But this is a forecast using data. So that's the difference between a forecast and a prediction. But anyway, this is conditions at Earth, and again, that's the density is going to rise here. It's saying they're saying the wind speed is going to drop out. So a lot of times that's what happens. That's what we see. They'll do the opposite. But I'm not sure if this thing is taking into consideration what I just seen on the sun here a few minutes ago. It's probably not. It probably hasn't updated quite yet. So I'll just say that. Anyway, magnometers kind of hanging down normal. Electron flux, it's just kind of hanging around a baseline too. Not much going on there. Here's electron content. Now I know I show you guys this off and on, but this is the overall electron content in our atmosphere here. Okay. Hey Avery. Hey Ray. Go downstairs. Sorry guys. Hold on a second. I'll be right back, guys. Sorry guys, I had to get something to drink. Anyway. So yeah. That's the overall electron content. That's what we got going on there. And it's definitely kind of moving up and down. Now, we had a little flash right there. Right there. That means it went pretty high. Okay. The darker colors are a lower number, and we had a little flash there, like we had a little hit from something, but nothing big going on there. Here is the magnetopause model, and what we're looking at here is sun's off to the left. Stuff should be moving from left to right here, okay, just so you know. Doesn't necessarily have to, I guess, but I wonder why that stupid thing ain't moving. That's irritating me. Anyway, let's put it over like that. Sorry. Okay. But left to right. Okay. Again, nothing much moving here, guys. Things are kind of just static right now. So, not really much to talk about at Earth right this second. You can see how our magnetopause, our bow shock ain't really moving a whole lot. You can see that things are just kind of staying stable. Even the pressure, not much going on. But I think that's going to change probably here in the next couple days, if not before. I'm going to just, matter of fact, I'm just going to X that out. This is the Australian model. Shout out to my Aussies over there. Good to see you guys. Anybody that's over there from down under, I appreciate you being here. Let's go back here. Now remember, this is the most simple model, which is why I like it. This is the density, that's the wind speed, and this is the BZ. Sun's to the left. Obviously this here is a satellite line. That's where our satellites are, most of them. This is our bow shock. That's our first line. That's all that is the point where our magnetic field hits the solar wind. That's it. That's all that is. So it changes in position depending on how hard we're getting hit. And that's why you see this thing moving. Okay, and it is jumping some time there a little bit, but not a whole lot. And again, guys, you didn't see it moving much. So not a whole lot going on there. Now, aurora. This is north and south pole. Okay, north over here on the left, south on the right. Remember, I've been talking about this because this is a very good representation of how we can tell that our magnetic north is actually moving faster away from what it used to be than what the south pole is, because we see aurora that isn't directly over the geographic pole. Okay, if you don't know the difference in that, what we're talking about is our magnetic field. Okay, it doesn't have a fixed position. It can move. All right. When you say geographic north, you're talking about a spot on our Earth. So when we're talking about the axis of our Earth, we're talking about the connection between the North Pole geographic to South Pole geographic. That line, that straight line through the Earth, that's our axis. That's what we spin on. Okay? So when you see the North Pole moving away and not showing any kind of aurora over that geographic pole, but yet we still see it in the south, that lets us know. No sound? Is anybody else having no sound? Okay. Okay. Just making sure it wasn't me. I just, okay. Okay, when somebody puts no sound in there, I have to stop because I'm not going to do a whole stinking live stream with no sound. Okay, cool. Cool. Alright, cool. But anyway, again, I just want to explain how, magnetic north is different than geographic north. And that's how we can kind of tell. So if I push play here, I'll actually I'll just move it like this. Notice how this is like yesterday right there, okay? Watch things just drop off. See? That means our, the solar wind and all that, space weather, calmed down. We see more aurora when we're getting hit with space weather. Obviously, that's why right there. See how much activity we had yesterday at this time? Then if we move it forward, you definitely see that things are just quieting down. Now again, I don't think it's going to stay that way. Okay? Now this is also another way. This is our geoelectric field model. This is space weather's effect on our electrical grid. And I've only got this for the United States. I don't know if they even have this tool for the rest of the world or not. This is actually a fairly new tool even for us over here. But you're seeing little blasts every great once in a while. But for the majority of it, anybody that's been watching me for any length of time knows that this isn't much at all. This is very, very quiet. Not a whole lot going on here. And I have to say that things are quiet right now, and I don't like it when it's too quiet, because that typically means that things are just building. And I hate to say it like that, but it guys, it is what it is. So what I'm going to do here, I wonder if it's giving us any data for that. Nope. Okay, so this is seeds, obviously. Now this is LASCO C2. Alright, so I'm going to back this off here. I can show you exactly what I mean. See, here's the Earth. This satellite right here is right here in front of the Earth. It's on SOHO. It's looking at the sun from our view. See this line right here? This orbital line? See how it's just inside the Earth's line? It stays right out in front of us the whole time around the sun. Always looking at the sun, unless every once in a while they'll turn it. But right here, this is basically the view we're looking at. Now, if I take you and show you this one, stereo A, okay, this is a side view. The satellite's here, Earth is over here. And this satellite is actually slowly creeping closer and closer to Earth. This thing used to be out there almost 45 degrees. Now it's, 90. Now it's closer to 45. Okay? This isn't like to the sun in direct 90 degree anymore. It used to be like that a few years back, or close to it. So if we look at that here, here's stereo, well, that's stereo B, but if you want to look at, like, if you want to picture it in your mind, this would be stereo A off to our left, and here would be the Earth. So you see the difference here, right? So it's a side view of the sun. And I want to point that out because it's important to know that. So here's the 28th, and you're not seeing much, right? And you're not seeing much here. Why? Well, if we go back to the 27th, we actually had a couple little ejections here. You see that? Right there. Now, I'm going to show you guys the CME tracker. Now, remember, it hadn't updated the last time I talked to you guys since the 8th. Well, it updated. It updated on the 26th, and you see what happens here. It's a very, 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 let me stress, a very small CME, which is surprising to me because sometimes they don't even update it for the big ones. I don't even know why they're even messing with this one, but who knows. But you look at this, there's a CME, right? It's very hard to see. It's really small, but is it going to hit us? Well, this is a top-down view of our solar system, inner solar system. That's the sun, obviously. This is Earth. That right there is Mercury. This green ball over here is Venus. This red one out here is Mars. This is stereo A, red box. The green box is Parker SP, and the red box here is another satellite called Solo, and this one out here is OSIRIS-REx. They plot these things. They put them out there so people have a idea of what, where these satellites are actually at. You're going to notice that the Parker SP will move around a lot, way more than any of the other ones do. That's the one they sent out there that kissed the sun. They're trying to, I guess the main point of its main mission was to help get data. Thanks, John. I appreciate that, man. To get data to get a better understanding why the corona of the sun is hotter than the surface. That was its main objective, I think. But anyway, if we look at this again, top-down view, you can see where the disruption is right there. Very small, but it does clip Earth. But it can still go north or south, or even left to right, east-west. We can't really tell from that view, right? So we have to look at all three of them. Now this is a side view. This is the sun, that's the Earth, and yes, it looks like it hits the Earth. So then we go over here to look at the other view, which is this is our orbital line around the sun stretched out in a straight line. So what we look for is the little distorted like little blur is what you'll see right here. And it does look like it could be going to hit us. Now, is it a big deal? Out of any CME I've ever seen before in my entire time I've been researching this at all, this would not be hardly anything in my opinion. Okay? That's why probably nobody's even hardly talking about it. But it does look like it could clip us. What day would that clip us? Well, here in the next 2 or 3 days. We could see a slight increase if it does impact us. But we'll just have to wait and see. I can't say 100%. None of us really know 100% until it gets here anyway. Until it does get here, it's all just forecasting and speculation, really, at some level. Or educated speculation is what I would call it, because there is some very good ways to tell, but we don't know for sure exactly how it's going to affect us till it gets here. Hey, thanks, Anita. I appreciate that. I really do. Really need to hear that sometimes, guys. I really do appreciate that. I can't tell you. Thank you for appreciating the research and stuff I do here. I really do appreciate it, guys. More than you guys could know. You guys are the reasons I keep doing this. I just, I don't know. Been dealing with some stuff, and so when I do hear stuff like that, it really does kind of bring my mood up, so thank you. Alright. So, what am I talking about as far as CMEs. Well, we're going to go over to SDO. And the reason why is, if you guys can see here on the 304, it's the 304 angstrom. Okay, it's an angstrom of light that we can't see with our own eyes. So they put the filter on here so you can see this gas. This is basically what this is doing. It's seeing a particular gas. I can't remember which one the 304 is. I could find that out with probably a quick Google search. But the 304 angstrom is what we're looking at here. Now notice all these filaments that are showing up. The sun is completely full of filaments right now. I seen one, and I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to put this in motion here in a second. It's stretching from like right here all the way over. This thing is huge. And right now it looks to be like right in front of us. So if this thing decides it wants to snap off the sun, oh man, I don't know. Hopefully it doesn't until it gets past us. You can kind of see it right there. See the darker area? How it shows up all the way through. And notice how you're seeing, you know, all these other filaments too. Now I know you guys are probably seeing that dark little flash there too. I'll pause it right around the time it does that. I'm going to take you back to it. Okay, so what we're seeing here, guys, this is eclipse season for SDO. Now, just like I said before, SDO and SOHO sit out right in front of the Earth, basically. They're from our view. So, SDO, as a matter of fact, I might as well just do this. Yeah, I guess we'll just do this. Hold on a minute, guys. Give me a sec. I should have had this set up, but oops. If you guys ever want to know where any of these satellites are, it's as simple as watch what I do here. Where is SDO? Bam. Right here. See how simple that was? It's really that simple. So if you go, then you got this little tab that says, where is SDO? Well, let's click it. Let's see what happens. This is what it gives us. This is real time. Okay? So if you guys have never been here, I would suggest that you go here. And this is actually will help you guys understand what I'm getting ready to explain. It's SDO eclipse season, which means the Earth is eclipsing the satellite. Alright? So the Earth is basically gets in between the satellite and the sun. This is the satellite. You see the termination line? Okay? So this is always pointed at the sun. That's why you see it rotating. It's always trying to look at the sun, and it's in what they call geosynchronistic orbit, which means it stays over the same spot on the Earth. So it's rotating with the Earth. All right? But it's always rotating its eye to the sun at the same time. It's orbiting the Earth while it's rotating to keep its eye on the sun. I know it's kind of hard to understand with all that verbiage, but that's what we get, okay? So that means that every so often the Earth's going to come into a position when this thing is trying to look at the sun, the Earth's going to be in the way. Because the satellite will basically be on the dark side of the Earth for a second, for a few. So the best way to understand this is, this is showing you right here. This is the satellite. Believe it or not, guys, this thing orbits in a figure 8 pattern right here. It always stays in this same orbital pattern. It stays on this figure 8 line. So it means it's always over this part of the Earth. That's why they call it geosynchronistic orbit. Why do they put it in a figure 8? Well, there's a few reasons, but one of the biggest reasons is when they do it like this, they limit the time that the Earth eclipses it, because the further away from the equator it gets, the less time that the Earth would be in front of it, because you're looking past the thinner part of the Earth as you get up closer to the northern or the southern part latitudes. Okay? When you get closer to the poles. That's why. They're trying to limit the time that the Earth is actually in front of this when the satellite's on the back side. That's one of the reasons. That's it, because I've been asked that question a lot. So this is the satellite I show you guys all the time. It always stays right here, always, with the Earth. But it's always rotating to look at the sun. Its eyes, it's as if, like, say you're on like a tilt-a-whirl carnival ride. And you always try to keep your eye focused on one thing, so you're always turning your head so you don't get dizzy, right? So you're always your whole body's getting flung around, but you're keeping your eye in the same spot. That's exactly what this satellite's doing. Okay? So I hope you guys understand that. I just wanted to explain that. But if you guys ever want to come over here and look at like the specifics, this is in real time. They will tell you ahead of time when the SDO Eclipse season is. So, why do I go over all that? Why do I even care to show you guys that? Well, let me show you why. Because somebody is going to come out here, oh, you're welcome, Brenda, and tell you that there was some crazy rogue object that went in front of this satellite, or it was some big gigantic UFO fleet or something. Somebody's going to tell you that when there's a very, very good explanation. When it's right there. They're telling you right there. They'll tell you months, years in advance. They can tell you years down the road when this is going to show up. So that's why. That's why I show you guys this, and that's why I, go over that in such a way. Because I don't want, I really would love for you guys not to get, stuck up into that kind of a mind thought to where that's something other than what it is. Now, another question that I get is, why is this not such a hard line? Well, the atmosphere of the Earth actually affects how rigid and how kind of fuzzy that looks. That's why. That's it. It's really that. It's really kind of that simple. Well, you're welcome, Jerry. I know I go over this probably once every 3 or 4 months, but I'd like to for the new people, and even for the people that have been hanging around for a while. It's a good refresher to kind of understand what's going on with that. I don't, I didn't have anybody except for, like Scott telling me what was going on with that at first when I started my channel. And, he's like, hey man, that's normal. So, so he pointed me directly to where I just showed you guys. So that's why I do that. And it's a very pretty simple thing once you know where to go look for that kind of stuff, But anyway, let me push play here, and we'll watch this again. You can definitely see this filament here. But also over here, guys, see that sunspot? Did you see it kind of just flare a little bit? It flared twice, and it had a couple CMEs blow off right there. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to change this to the 171. Okay, this is the yellow view that we see, and you'll definitely be able to see this now. See that blow? And it'll blow again here at the end. See that? Now I'm going to zoom in, and we'll take a little bit closer look at this. And you'll definitely be able to see it. There is the first one. There went the second one. Okay? You can definitely see it blowing. I'm sure you guys can see that. That was the first one. There's the second one. Now that all happened at the end of the day. Okay? So that's why it's not showing up on the Soho model yet. Because it hasn't made it past the occulter. That's why. We haven't seen it yet. But with the blowing right there, can't really, if we just went off of that, which we shouldn't just go off of one view. We don't know if it's blowing this way, if it's blowing that way, or this way, or that way, or if it's coming right at us. Okay? We just don't. So the only way to know is to wait to get more data in. And unfortunately, that's what we're going to have to do. But let me show you guys another angstrom here. Sometimes looking at the different angstroms will help you understand it better. Let's look at the 131, which is the teal view. Now, guys, they can assign this any color they want. Just know that. So you're not going to be able to see it as much here. It's right there. So you do get to see it, but it's not as clear. Not like I like to see it anyway. But let me just zoom out here. So I'm going to purple here. 211. Now we'll see it here pretty good probably. There's one. There's two. Yeah, you definitely see it better here on the purple, which is definitely you know, definitely seeable here. You definitely know we had a blowout here. So here's the first one right there. Here's the second one. Boom. See that? See how it kind of looked like it went that way? But it could have actually came our direction. We don't know yet, okay? So we're going to have to wait to get the rest of the data in on that one. Actually, I'll tell you what I can do. Let me... Well, I was going to do that. Hold on a minute. Pause it. Let's see if it works like this. Yep, there it goes. Okay. There's the first one. Okay, watch right here where my cursor is. First one. And then the second one will happen. Watch it right here. Boom. See that? You see this little filament right here? Watch that sucker just blow out. See it? You can definitely see the atmosphere getting disturbed. Boom. Okay? So, yeah. So I really think that, you know, we'll just have to keep an eye on that, guys. That's all we can do. Not much more to... And this hasn't updated yet for that. Let's see if it caught it yet. Nope, not yet. Alright, so, spaceweather.com. Here's that sunspot, 2800. That's the sunspot that just blew. This was talking about the wolf moon. Okay? It says, can you hear them howl? According to folklore, tonight's full moon is the wolf moon. You guys can research that if you want. It's pretty interesting. But I'm more interested in this right here. What if a perfect CME hit Earth? They've actually done some studies on this. Okay? And the perfect CME actually would have basically two CMEs built into it. It would have one of them hitting us and then one right behind it, which would be the perfect one. Okay? It would be like at 3,000 kilometers a second. We've seen that happen before. So, you know, right here it says, moreover, it would follow another CME, which would clear the path in front of it, allowing the storm cloud to hit Earth with maximum force. Okay? Now, they tell you down here what the likelihood of all that is, and they go into all this, and they go into detail. Okay? They compare the Carrington event with this. They compare the 1989 Canadian outage, where the whole grid went down there. I think it was in Quebec. I think is where it was. Well, it says right here. Yeah, Hydro-Quebec power grid in eastern Canada. The May 1921 railroad storm. So you guys listen. The Carrington event is not the only event. A lot of people stop right there when they hear that word. And it's like, listen, we've had ones very, very, very close to a Carrington event. Okay? And you know, this one that happened in 1989, if that thing was just a little bit stronger, would hit us at a little different time, guys, we'd have had huge issues. I'm talking like grid down for good. Global. Just saying. So that's how close these things happen, okay? This is not a matter of if. It is definitely a matter of when. Hey, Teresa, good to see you in here. Hey, Kathy. Sharon, Carolyn, good to see you guys. Brenda. So, just understand that, guys, okay? Please. Please understand that. That's why I do what I do here. Because, again, it's not a matter of if. It is definitely a matter of when. No doubt. It will happen. There is nobody out there that's going to tell you that it's not going to happen. We will get hit with the big one. Eventually. And it does happen. It seems to happen on some sort of a timeline. At least close to it. The odds get greater and greater. And if you look at all the timelines, we're overdue. There's not one out there that says that we're not. It's time for another one. And I hate to say it like that, but I want you guys to understand how serious that is. That's what we're talking about now. And with our electromagnetic field in a weakened state, such as 25% weaker than what it was, that does not bode good for us at all. And why does this matter? Guys, listen. If this was before we were dependent, this is why it hasn't really affected everybody on a global scale yet. I'm getting ready to tell you right now. And the reason is because we are now globally a society that is dependent on electricity. Okay? So what I have to say, if you go back to, let's just go back to Little House on the Prairie days, half pint. You know what I'm talking about, guys? I mean, come on. They didn't have electricity back then. So if they got smacked with the CME back then, they wouldn't even care. They would not even know it. They would not care. Because it would not knock their power out. They didn't have it. This is why this is such a big deal now. Our society, including myself, I put myself into this because I grew up in a time where I didn't know life without some sort of higher technology. Okay, I grew up playing, Atari and Nintendo and all that kind of stuff. I always had a telephone, not always a cell phone, but I always had a way of communication. Something like this happens, all that goes away. And because of all that technology, I wasn't spending my time on learning how to grow food, or learning how to plant food and do this and do that, and to survive without the electricity. If I wanted corn, what did I do? I went to the cabinet, grabbed a can and a can opener, and dumped it in the pot. Back then it wasn't like that. And this is what I'm trying to say. And now our kids are even further away from that. You can't even get their faces out of the phones. It's bad. Hey, Ricky, what's up? Ain't seen you for a minute, girl. Good to see you. So, yeah, guys, this is what I try to tell people, I don't like going down the gloom and doom path. You guys know I don't. I hate doing it. But I have to be real with you guys and let you know that it is definitely a matter of if. It's not a matter of when. It's a matter of when, not a matter of if. It will definitely happen. This, what you're looking at, is going to happen. Hopefully it doesn't happen when we're here, but we are overdue. So what can we do to stop any of this? Well, first off, we can't stop this. Not 1 second, okay? But what we can do is prepare. And there are things that our leaders should be doing to our infrastructure that could help this. And they're not doing it. That's something that nobody ever talks about this. And I've always wondered why. I just don't understand why. Thanks, Keith. I appreciate that, man. I just don't understand why our government doesn't take this on. Obviously, the people that are way up there are going to have electricity no matter what. All their stuff's going to be in a position to where it can be protected. Yeah. So I'll just say it like that. I'm not going to go too much into detail with any of that. But the fact of the matter is, we can be doing something to protect our infrastructure, and we're simply not. That is an issue. And nobody is taking it anywhere with this. Even mainstream science should be all over this. They should be up in Congress all the time listening, all up in there. Be like, hey guys, what are we doing? We know it's a matter of if. Why are we waiting? Why don't we, we could put thousands and thousands of people to work by protecting our infrastructure. Why not do it? Makes no sense. But I think we all know why. So I just, yeah. So I'll end that part of the conversation there. But listen, I get a little fired up about that because there is stuff we can do. People think there's nothing we can do about it, but there is stuff we can do. We can protect our infrastructure. We can protect our electrical grids. We can. And Brenda's right. We can generate love. That's a lot of what we can do. But at the end of the day, what can we do, in our own little area? Well, if you want to just talk about protecting yourself, that's all you're worried about, or that's really all you can do. You can start talking about Faraday cages and stuff like that. I just sent a text off to Rip, too. Rip Curl, you guys know Rip. He does a lot of preparedness stuff, and so does Ron over at Emergency Management. But I'm going to be, again, I've been having technical issues. My OBS has been giving me fits. If anybody runs a channel or they know what OBS is, it's the software we use to go live and to do streaming and stuff. I've been trying to get my stuff set up to bring in a guest, and I've been having some weird stuff happen. As soon as I get that set up and working, I'm going to have Rip on like immediately. Just know that. I'm working. I've been trying to, get that ironed out. I'll have it ironed out here in the next couple days, I think. I'm getting close. But I was getting some weird audio echo that everything I tried to do wasn't working, and I think I might have figured it out. But we'll have to wait and see. But with that being said, we're going to start talking about what we can do. Okay? I'm going to start having people on that know way more about what we can do. So I can at least try to help everybody do at least a little something to protect themselves. I mean, I can tell you guys what a Faraday cage is. But let me tell you something about that kind of stuff too, guys. Faraday cages are great, all right? But you can protect all the equipment you want to protect, but if you don't have a source of energy to run the equipment you just protected, it does no good. So where you have to start is the source of the electricity. Whether it's a generator, whether it's batteries, whether it's any of that kind of stuff. That's where your focus has to be at first. Then worry about protecting your equipment, whatever you need, I don't know, whatever that is, radios and stuff like that. But what I'm saying is, unless you have a source of energy to run the equipment you just protected, it ain't gonna do you no good to protect the equipment. It's backwards. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what I'm saying. You have to go with the source of energy first. And that's why, if we would just protect our infrastructure, our power lines and stuff like that, we wouldn't have to worry about stuff like that, guys. It might go down for a minute, but it would be better up. It would come right back up. Yeah, I agree, Ricky. Yeah, I know, Jill. That's exactly what I've been saying. Yeah, I know. For sure. She says everything we have these days works off electricity. Most definitely. And then, Darth V here says, you're talking about generators, gasifier, solar panel. If you guys are going to get stuff like that, yes, that's a great thing. And you do it right when you do it like that. But you got to protect that generator too. So that's kind of what I'm saying. Guys, your cars won't work because they ran off computer components. So if we have a big CME, your car ain't going to move. It ain't going to matter what you do. You got to have a car older than 1960 something, I think. Can't remember what date it was, but If you got a car older than that, it doesn't rely on all that electrical component stuff. And yes, you would be able to still, use that vehicle. But, yeah. And also, you can still keep your vehicles. There's people out there that take, like, their computer cards that run their cars. They'll put those cards in a Faraday cage. That way, if there is a CME, all they have to do is swap out that card, and it'll work again. So, yeah. Yeah, you got EMP Shield. There's services out there that do that. So yeah. All right. Now, let's go here real quick. Near Earth objects, not much going on here, guys. Nothing really close. No big asteroids or anything coming real close to us. Haven't really seen much there. Earthquakes. I have to say, guys, right now things seem to be a little bit too quiet for my liking. Especially down in here. I've been saying that for some time. The other day when we didn't have any, and then all of a sudden we had a big one the next day. I actually circled that down there. I was like, hey, listen, guys, we ain't had one here in the day or so pay attention down here. And within like 4 or 5 hours, we had that big one down there. But that was just off of being able to look at it and be like, hey, we ain't had nothing there for a minute. But I know people think that this is a weird place to have an earthquake up here. The reason why we're having an earthquake up there is because we had that bigger one up there. It was a 6, I think. I think it was a 6 something about a month ago. And ever since then, we've been having them off and on. So, yeah. Ricky's talking about hot spots off of the Oregon coast here. We can zoom in here a little bit. Not really much showing up on the Cascadia zone as far as shaking or anything, but the hot spots is usually a precursor to some of that shaking. So just know that. What the hot spots basically is pointing to where the magma is moving to. So, yeah, that's a rift zone in Mongolia. Yep, 100%. So, yeah, guys. So, it's not so odd, really, to see one there off and on. So, I know people like, why is it way over there? Well, yeah. So, you can see where all the earthquakes are right now. Nothing big going on right at this second. There is movement. There's stuff going on. But, again, I would push you over to talk to Ricky or to talk to Ron or people like that. I'm just not as educated on that as they are. So, let's see here. Let me do this real quick. And yeah, guys, thank you guys so much for supporting me. I appreciate your guys' kind words. I really do. You guys really, bring my mood up quite well. I have to say. I get kind of down a little bit sometimes trying to, research this out for people. And you guys are great. So, but if you guys want to help me out as far as, a donation or something, here's my PayPal link. I only bring it up once or twice during the video, usually at the beginning and once at the end, and I don't talk about it. But I do appreciate it, guys. I definitely can, always can use it. So, it's never expected, but thank you guys so much for those that do. I really do appreciate it. My P.O. box is down in that, down in the description also. So, you guys got any questions for me? Again, yeah, there's my PayPal. If anybody wants to donate, it's there. So, you guys got any questions for me before I get out of here? Okay, Pam, what you got? Well, you're welcome. Hey, Bubba News, what's up? Yeah, I don't know, Bubba. I really don't. Yes, headaches have been really bad, guys, just so you know. Hey, you're welcome, Jill. Thank you. Thank you. Radiation, if this keeps up bad, maybe. Love you back, Jerry. Love you back. Hey, Christine, good to see you, girl. If the system comes, how bad will it be? Best guess if we have a polar flip. Best guess for a polar flip, if you're talking about magnetic pole reversal, that's catastrophic. Okay? That's all I can say about that. I mean, there's so many things there that would push us to other different directions. What would be the catastrophe? In my opinion, the initial catastrophe is going to be every coastline in the world is going to flood. That would be the biggest thing for me at first. Whenever that happens is when it happens. Hey, Rebel, good to see you. Thanks, Angelo. Appreciate that, bud. Holding it down for me, brother. I have no idea, Hawk Dog. That's way above my head. Way above. Yeah, for sure, Pam. I mean, I don't, listen, let me address that pole flip thing one more time, too. Let me say this. That nobody has been here in recorded history during a pole flip. Okay? So, at the end of the day, what we're left with is very, very highly educated guesses. Okay? And that's what it boils down to. Yeah, Ricky says it right there. She has some pretty good views on some pole flip information too. She thinks some certain things are going to happen and all that kind of stuff. She definitely has some good information. Let's see here. Do you think Space Weather is doing some predictive programming on us? I don't know. I always wonder everything, guys. I approach everything with a level of skepticism, and I would encourage everybody here to do the same. Don't believe a word I say. Go look at it for yourself. That's why I show you where I get the information from. There's channels out there that will just tell you the information and not show you where they're getting it from. Why are they doing that? You have to ask yourself that. You see how easy it is for me just to show it to you. Hey, Arizona. See you in a while. Thanks for stopping by. And that's kind of what I'm saying. The people that I listen to and the people, hey, Skywatcher. Buy a pair of hip boots and then see what makes it. Awesome, Ricky. Man. You guys are awesome. So, yeah, I just, I don't know. You know, there's so many things that we can look at. There's so many things that I can show you. There's so many opinions that I have. But I don't want to put my opinion in somebody's head. I want to put the observation there and people to get their own belief and their own fact, what they can figure out. Okay? Because that's really where it comes down to. You're not just going to take my word for it and run with it. If you go look at it for yourself, you're more apt to act on what you're seeing. You see what I'm saying? So that's kind of what I'm saying. So yeah. Hey VW, good to see you. Yeah, guys, you guys can talk about whatever you need to in here in the chat. I'm not going to tell you not to, but please don't let it get too crazy, okay? I haven't seen anything too crazy in here yet, but just make sure it doesn't get personal, okay? That's all I'm saying. Everybody's allowed there. I encourage you guys to definitely put your view on whatever you're talking about in here. I get it. Okay? I have my ideas and stuff like that too, but please, if it does get to the point where you're wanting to call somebody a name or anything like that, I haven't seen that in here though, so that's what I'm saying. I haven't seen any of that. I'm just trying to say it before it happens. Sometimes things get kind of heated, especially when you have a passionate view on something. People have very, very passionate, strong views on their religion. I mean, let's just face it, that's what it is. So when you're trying to get your point out there, sometimes you'll get offended, and sometimes it's really not somebody trying to offend you. So long as it don't get too crazy, talk about what you need to. That's right, Stephanie. Our mama's raised us right. So, and again, like I said, I just think that, when I show you guys my information and I show you the observation, that's just why I do it like I do it. People ask me that all the time. Yep, exactly, Ricky. You catch more flies with honey than you do crap. That's for sure. So, yeah, Chewy, the moon affects people. Yeah, possibly. Yep. Yep. I mean, like I said, guys, especially when, if you guys talk about the religion and stuff like that, any kind of religion. Wow, sorry about that, guys. People have so many different views. They've been raised different. They've had this. They've had that, and it becomes very personal to them. And I say this for one reason, because it helps people understand why people get so passionate and get so offended, even though somebody's not trying to offend them. Sometimes it helps to understand that, and that's something I had to learn myself. Don't get me wrong, there's certain things that I won't bend on either. Just like everybody, if you're honest with yourself, there's certain things that you will not come off of no matter what anybody says to you. Okay? I mean, let's just be honest with ourselves. That's what it is. Who wants to catch flies? That's funny, Lizette. But yeah. And let me say this too, there's nothing wrong with that. And I think that's where, when we look around geopolitically, that's where the problem becomes, because what we start seeing is those people that are not willing to allow the same privilege. What do I mean by privilege? It's a privilege, if you look at the geopolitical global environment, to be able to have whatever religion you want to have. So think about that. If you take that right away from the religion that you don't agree with, like your neighbor, maybe your neighbor has a total different religion than you, and you want to get that out of here because it doesn't agree with what you think or what you believe. Well, what happens when the majority becomes against what you think and believe? Then they try to take that away from you. That's why we have to be able to allow that. Allow them to have whatever view they want to view, but we can still talk and we can still try to get people to understand the way that we believe, and hopefully they come around to the way that we think. That's the goal, right? Ain't that how it really is? And I think that as a whole, our country has lost that. Just look at the fact that I'm just going to say it, executive orders that are being signed. I mean, I said this throughout the last 3 administrations. So it goes from both sides of the aisle. They're both doing it now. And it was a mistake from the first time. They should not be allowed just to blanket do something like that. And I've said that since the beginning. They started something because back then it worked for a minute. But then when the next person that has the opposite view of you gets in there and just reverses everything you just did, what's that doing to everybody? It's keeping everybody in a state of chaos. Whatever side you're on. So what happens is, whoever's in office for whatever many years, you're okay, and then all of a sudden, bam, it changes. Then it changes back. Then it changes. Then it changes back. It's just, yeah, I don't get it. And if you think about what an executive order actually is, it is part of what a dictator would do. They're bypassing our government. They're bypassing our checks and balances when they do that. And I'm not pointing to one person or one president here or president there, because they've all done it. They all did it. And I think that, whatever we have to do to stop that kind of stuff in the future, we need to. I don't care who's sitting up there running the country. I don't. They shouldn't have that just blanket pen power just to write it down and make it so. It just shouldn't be that way. Yeah, exactly, Rob. That's exactly what I'm saying. Nobody should have that power. It just doesn't. I don't think anybody should. Yeah. Yeah, Ricky, yeah. So, yeah, guys, I know I kind of went off on a little bit of a... Yeah, exactly, Bubba. They're bypassing everything. And again, it wasn't just one side. It ain't just one side of the aisle there. They're both doing it. They're doing it when it benefits them. And that's just, yeah, yeah, exactly. We vote for that, but that's crazy. I just don't get it. But yeah, I think at some level that's going to have to be somewhere looked at and changed. Who knows? Again, whatever your political views are, I think if you look at if you take out what it's doing for one side or the other, and you look at the actual executive rule itself, and you look at it, and you're like, man, that sounds like a dictator to me. They're able just to not take, just write it, and there it is. I just don't get it, All right, Keith, prayers for you, buddy. Guys, pray for Keith. Keep us updated, man. Get yourself off here. Go. Don't worry about typing in those stupid chat. Get to the hospital, man. What's wrong with you? We'll pray for you, man. So, yeah, guys. I am going to go ahead and get out of here, though. Again, here's my PayPal link, guys. If you guys want to help me out, it's appreciated. And thanks to everybody that has, helped me out. And, like I said, I can always use it, and it's never expected, but it's always appreciated so much. So anyway, guys, God bless. I love all you guys. You guys just hang in there. And, again, God bless. Yahusha saves, and pray for Keith, and you can drink this